Hey friends, Ash here with Scents. Hope that you're doing well. It's first impression time, and today we're taking a look at Bvlgari Man Terra Essence. This one took a while for me to get my hands on. It didn't pop up in the US for quite a while after it was announced. It's slowly trickling its way out to where you can finally pick it up though. Obviously, this is the newest in the Bvlgari Man line, following up on Glacial Essence and Bvlgari Man Wood Neroli before that. So we're playing off the Captain Planet theme here. We've got water, we've got earth, we've got wood. Yeah, I guess it's not Captain Planet, is it? Next up, Bvlgari Man Fire Essence and then Heart Essence. With your powers combined, I am Alberto Marias. So basically my hope here is that the fragrance doesn't suck. I think that's everybody's hope though when they blind buy something. Well, I hope that it doesn't suck, at the least. Hopefully it's good. I've intentionally stayed away from reviews on this thing, so I'm not sure what to expect. So let's just jump into it and check out Bvlgari Man Terra Essence. I believe that we will start things off with the unboxing. Ooh. Why did I throw that on the floor? I'm just gonna have to pick it up. All right, here's the box. You've got the name of the house, name of the fragrance, size, and concentration right there on the front. I do like this little pattern that they have here. It looks kind of like marble. Nothing at the top, nothing on the sides. On the back, you have your ingredient information. And on the bottom, you're gonna find your badge code and your barcode. The full badge code is 00M6 3BD1. And let's go ahead and pull it out here. That's what she said. Yeah, actually, I really like that. It's cool looking. This little marble design here on the top that mirrors the box. Yeah, I think that looks cool. I like the copper coloration to it also. It's a good looking bottle. That's the sexy boy. Name of the fragrance, name of the house right there on the front. Nothing on the sides or the back. Atomizer built into the top like all of these Bvlgari Man bottles, and your badge code on the bottom. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that looks great, actually. I know it's such a simple little thing, but this color scheme that they have going on here really speaks to me. It's like a classy kind of Roman look to it or something, or Greek, I don't know. So with this being Terra Essence, I'm expecting it's going to be at least somewhat earthy. Let's go ahead and spray it on, see how it smells. So let that settle for a second. Basically looks like a pool of liquid in my elbow pit. That sounds attractive. It's, you can't really see it, can you? Intriguing. This is not made for extreme mass appeal. Not that I find it altogether disconcerting smelling. I just sprayed it more because I wanted to, but yeah, this is, not quite as mass appealing as the Bvlgari Man wood fragrances were, or Glacial Essence either. Yeah, a good amount of earthiness in here. It's got kind of a slight, dirty citrus feel to it in the opening. It doesn't really smell super similar to Terra d'Hermes, but I would say that, you know, it's in the same ballpark. And I say that because you've got vetiver here. You've got that earthy, slightly dirty feel and a bit of bitter citrus off the top. And of course, those are the main ingredients to Terra d'Hermes that most people are gonna remember. Now this could just be me, but it doesn't seem like it's projecting as heavy as I would expect, because I sprayed it on 4.5 times. I say 4.5 because the first spray was really wimpy. And it doesn't seem to be projecting quite as much as I would expect. But again, it is kind of hard to judge projection when you just spray the fragrance on and you're just sitting in a seat, not moving around and going about your day. So take that with a grain of salt. And you know, as far as the citrus goes, it's not really a huge blast of it. It's just kind of this bitter-ish citrus that you pick up melding together right away with that kind of earthy vetiver undertone that's going on. It's almost kind of a green citrus in a way. Not really picking up too much of the iris at this point. So I'm imagining as it dries down, that's gonna pop out a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do So let this dry down. I'm gonna have my wife check it out. I'll be right back to let you guys know how it changes as it sits on my skin a little bit more. First impressions are that I like the way it smells. Personally, I think it smells good, but it is definitely, of the Bvlgari Man releases that have come out, maybe ever, it is probably the most divisive. So I could see a lot of people going into a store, spraying this on and going like, yeah, no thanks. Anytime you start tinkering around with earthy notes, you run that risk of alienating a lot of people who are just wanting something either sweet or spicy or fresh. And there's nothing wrong with that, with just liking that as your go-to, you know, the easy to wear stuff where you're just like, bam, everyone's gonna like me, baby. No problem with that. But when you come out with something that's, you know, the polar opposite of that almost, a lot of those people are gonna smell it and go, nah. So let me have her check it out. Let me let it dry down. I'll be right back. I am back. Had my wife check it out, let it dry down, and surprisingly, she actually liked it okay. Now, I wouldn't say she was in love with it, but she didn't dislike it either. And for me, with this type of fragrance, I'm gonna take that as a win. She did say that to her it smelled smoky, that it was overly masculine, that had no sweetness whatsoever. And I'm okay with that. Actually, with this fragrance, surprisingly, I think it's really good. I didn't have the highest hopes on earth. Like I said at the beginning, I just hoped that it wasn't terrible. And this, to me, is one of those fragrances that is really different from what most people are doing right now. Now, it does remind me a little bit of Gucci Guilty Absolute. Not the exact same, I always have to say that, but again, in the same ballpark, in a similar kind of style. Maybe not a huge surprise because Alberto Marias did that fragrance and he did this fragrance as well. So Terra Essence, especially as it dries down, it takes on this kind of leathery feel, even though leather is not an official note here. It also has kind of a slight petrol or gasoline kind of edge, almost like a leather jacket that's been lightly splashed with a little bit of gas. It retains that earthiness. Citrus dies away completely as the fragrance dries down. I mean, you really only get that citrus just as a brief pop in the opening. The earthiness and that vetiver imparting kind of a woody feel stays throughout the life of the fragrance. It does seem to have pretty good longevity. Again, this is the first time wearing it, so I can't give you specifics and say, oh, it lasts this much time and projects this heavily. But it does seem to have good longevity. And actually the projection seems to be all right as well. I know initially I said the projection could be a little bit weak. You know, it was coming across like it might be not quite up to par, but it seems like it's doing okay. So as of right now, I'd say the performance looks like there's no issue whatsoever. Now this is gonna be a fragrance that I don't know that I would really wear it to the office. It doesn't seem like one of those scents. Like I said earlier, anytime you start messing with earthy notes, especially ones that have this kind of leathery feel to it with a complete lack of sweetness, you're gonna alienate some people. And if you're wearing it to an office, especially if you spray this on pretty well where people are gonna be able to pick it up easily, probably gonna have some people that push back on that a little bit. I'd say this one's a fall and wintertime scent. That's how it's coming across to me. Leans more evening, but I'd pull it off in the day as well, especially if it's cold out. I gotta say, I really like this. Just off my first impression, I really dig it. We'll see how it goes with more wears, you know, wearing it out and about and, you know, letting it dry down multiple times so I can kind of key in on how it evolves and everything, but I like it. I would say though that it would not surprise me if this fragrance kind of goes the way of Gucci Guilty Absolute, which is to say into the discontinuation bin in the not so distant future. Because Gucci Guilty Absolute came out and it had its subsect of fans who were all about it and they were just like, oh my God, I can't believe Gucci in the Guilty line released this. Amazing. You know, these people singing the praises of Gucci Guilty Absolute. And then you had the vast majority of people who went to a Macy's or wherever or blind bought it, sprayed it on and went, Now this one I think is not quite as pungent as Gucci Guilty Absolute. Thinking maybe it's a little bit smoother, easier to wear. Not going to get as much of that Band-Aid kind of feeling with this one as you may have with Gucci Guilty Absolute, but it is going to be a tough sell, I think, for some people. But kudos to Bvlgari for doing something that is a little more daring than what you're typically going to find in a designer release, and I think it's great. Earthy, woody, leathery, slightly petrol-y, and devoid of sweetness. Like I said, I would say that iris, it's there as a bit player, but it really helps kind of smooth out the edges of this scent. So even though it's not overly easy to just pick it out and say, oh yeah, there's the iris right there. You know, it's not here with everything else underneath it. It's kind of melding together with everything. I think the inclusion of that note really helps kind of round this out. So Bvlgari Man Terra Essence for me, thumbs up. I like the way this smells. One last word of caution though, I would wager that this fragrance is going to appeal more to guys middle-aged and older. Now, if you like some of the fragrances that I mentioned in regard to this one, then go ahead and check it out, even if you're younger. But if you're looking for something, you know, really sweet, mass appealing, super versatile, compliment pulling, all that good stuff, this probably isn't gonna scratch that itch for you. So there we go, Bvlgari Man Terra Essence. For me, first impression wise, love it. All right, guys, it's gonna do it for me. Thanks for hanging with me till the end. If you smelled that one, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.